As the nights draw in and we start lighting the fires, one of our traditions is to make the most luxurious of hot chocolates. We'd love you to spend a few minutes with us while we share that recipe. Hello! Welcome to English Country Life. Welcome to the kitchen and welcome to Hot Chocolate Special. Real hot chocolate, not the stuff made from powder. Stuff made from high cocoa solids chocolate. Full fat milk, double cream is an amazing, luxurious treat to drink. Really hard to get now done properly because people use all the shortcuts. This winter, do yourself and your loved ones a favour. Take the few minutes, make a mug of proper, rich, luxurious hot chocolate. Let me show you how we do it. As always, we're going to put a full recipe up at the end of the video, so you don't need to write anything down. Great hot chocolate consists of three main ingredients: good chocolate, full fat milk, and double cream. Let me talk to you a little bit about the quality of those ingredients. For the chocolate, we're looking really for something about 70% cocoa solids. You can get higher, you can get 85% or even more, but they become a bit grainy, they become a bit bitter, and we're looking for something really luxurious here. So 70% hits all the right notes. And because we're having a luxury item, I want to find two things on there. I want to find a fair trade logo, and I always want a chocolate that has nothing about palm oil in the ingredients. Just great quality chocolate being made up of a little bit of sugar, cocoa solids, cocoa fat. That's what we're looking for. I've designed this recipe around a standard large bar of quality chocolate, and usually they're about 100 grams. Don't worry if the bar you choose is 90 grams or 110, but you want something in that range. And what we're going to do is melt the chocolate separately, warm the milk, and then combine the two liquids. I find that chocolate blends with milk much better if the chocolate is already melted. If you try and put lumps of chocolate into warm milk without boiling the milk, because we mustn't boil the milk in this recipe, I find it very difficult to get the chocolate to dissolve fully, and you get something that's a bit grainy. So if you make sure all the chocolate's melted first, you avoid that risk. When I've chopped the whole bar, what I'm going to do is pick out just a little of the finest chopped chocolate, and I'm going to reserve that for garnishing the drink. The rest I'm going to put into a double boiler, and we'll gently melt that in a minute. Once we've chopped the chocolate, the next step is to whip some cream. I've got 150 ml of double cream in this bowl, and I'm going to whip it. But first, here's one of my top tips. This is homemade pure vanilla extract. I'm just going to put a couple of drops, no more, into that double cream. And whipped double cream with vanilla extract is incredible. One issue you might find is all your cream gets caught up in your whisk, but you want to get your whipped cream to a really stiff, solid consistency like that. Then pop it in the fridge and we'll carry on making the chocolate itself. This will be our top dressing when the chocolate's made, but if we don't make it in advance, we find ourselves with hot chocolate trying to beat cream quickly and it all gets a bit rushed. So do your whipped cream at this stage, and then we'll move on to combining the other ingredients. Let's get our milk ready. What I have here is 500 ml of full cream milk. This isn't a recipe for skimping on. It's an occasional treat and we want the good stuff. Now, if you want to make a world-class hot chocolate, here's the next tip. We have the wonderful creaminess of full fat milk to be combined with the richness of cocoa solids and topped with a whipped vanilla cream. What could make it better? Well, in my view, our homemade cherry brandy. There's something about cherry and chocolate that goes together. Now, I don't mean you should drown it. I'm using a shot glass here just to illustrate. That's probably more than enough. But combining that into the milk gives a luscious, fruity quality that works with the glorious richness of the chocolate. It's amazing. Now, obviously, if this is for children, we're not going to put that amount of brandy in. Although, to be honest, with the warming of the milk, most of the alcohol is driven out. We make real fruit cordials as well. And you can get on Amazon things like proper cherry syrup. I'm not talking about squash. I'm talking about things that are mostly fruit. So don't be frightened with the younger people to use things like Monin syrups or some of the high quality fruit syrups that you can get these days. Or make something yourself. Just a few cherries, heat them in water with a bit of sugar and strain, and there you go. That's what you need. But something that's dark and rich and fruity, be it a cherry or a blackberry, really goes well with hot chocolate. Using 2 small burners. All I'm trying to do is bring this milk up to being warm. Don't want it to boil because that will cause it to split. I'm looking for little tiny bubbles just to form around the edge of the walls of the pan. And at the same time, we're going to melt the chocolate in the double boiler. And when both are warm, when the chocolate is melted, we'll combine the 2 liquids. When you get these little bubbles forming at the edge of the pan, that's saying to you that the contents of your pan are between 80 and 85 centigrade, and that's the temperature we want. We don't want the milk to boil. So turn off the heat, let the milk stand until the chocolate's melted. The double boiler will easily melt your chocolate, but don't rush. If you look closely at this, you can see we've still got a slightly grainy texture. Let's give it another couple of minutes. We'll make sure the chocolate is fully liquid, and then it will combine easily into the milk with no grittiness. Because those 2 liquids are more or less the same temperature, both parts are already in liquid form, they will melt together, mix together so easily. Here's a top tip. When you've made this hot chocolate mix, the chocolate and the milk, you can let it cool and reheat it to 80 centigrade when you come in from your walk in the woods, your snowball fight, when you've lit the fire and put your favourite movie on. Once you've filled your mug to about 2/3, 3/4 full, let's top it with that wonderful vanilla cream that we made earlier. And I think real whipped double cream is so different than that horrible squirty stuff. This is flavoured with Madagascan vanilla, but even plain, it has a consistency and a look of snow that's just superb. Now what next? Well, for me, always a few mini marshmallows. We'll take those little bits of grated chocolate we kept, give it a sprinkle on top, and just for that final flourish, how about a candy cane to stir it with? I wish I could make you one. It's the combination of things that works so well with this. There's a richness to the dark 70% cocoa chocolate. There's a lightness with the vanilla in the whipped cream. There's a fruitiness with that cherry syrup or cherry brandy that you put into the chocolate. A few marshmallows, a little bit of a stir of a mint flavoured candy cane, and it's all those wonderful festive flavours coming together. So I hope from our family to yours, you get to enjoy one. If you're enjoying this kind of content, can you spare us 5 seconds? Just give us a thumbs up down below. And if you're enjoying the family recipes, which is a bit of a new departure for us, this kind of thing, please tell us in the comments and we'll do more of them. If you enjoy seeing our stuff, hit the subscribe button, the notifications bell next to it, and you'll hit every time we upload a new video. But whatever you do, come back and see us soon. Take care.